getting back to him, you know, because you can only be first once, and he was our first, right? You had to carry yourself in a certain way. You had to have a certain character, because everywhere you went, people looked at you. And many people, there was a lot of envy and jealousies, and some people would hope that you would fall, believe it or not. And so you had to be very careful about what you did, who you associated with, what you said. And even if you said the right thing, there were people who still would come after you to try to detract from what you're doing. Now, I know he was from Ocala. Some of my relatives are Ocala. They're here now because they got run out of Ocala, okay? I don't think that's his case, but some like Dorsey Miller and others, my Uncle Willie Ford, they were run out of Ocala. They came to the house and said, these guys, tomorrow morning, they had to be gone. Because of the way he carried himself, the way he conducted himself, how he embellishes our 4 cardinal principles: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. And he embodied all of those. And he is the kind of person that you would want in any organization that you belong to. He set a different kind of standard, okay? He was somebody that the United States could look up to, not just Brothers of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, okay? And so he is one of the illustrious members of our chapter, our local chapter. And back during his time, when you look at the members who were of Sigma Alpha chapter back then, it was a who's list of this community who belonged to Sigma Alpha chapter Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Now, I don't know where he pledged. He may have pledged Upsilon Psi in Florida A&M, or he could have pledged here. I don't know that. I mean, but he was probably, he was one of the early guys, because again, our chapter here was only started in 1939, and so, but before my time, okay? But here's a person that we honor, that we look up to, that we highlight, that and say this is the kind of person an Omega man should be. All of his accomplishments, his character, his impact on this community, his impact on Omegadom. I mean, he's the kind of person that if your daughter was getting married to somebody, you wanted to marry somebody like that, okay? So in every way, he embodies what an Omega man should be. If you didn't know anything about him, just the way he carried himself, the way how distinguished he was, he'd be a person that you would say, I want to be like him. For instance, when we spoke earlier, and I told you that Nelson Adams was, he lived in our community. There was something different about Nelson Adams. As far as the older guys in my neighborhood, he was just distinguished. The way he carried himself, he was just a distinguished individual. You knew he was somebody, okay? Oftentimes, people would say that about my grandfather. You looked at him, you just know that he is somebody. What is somebody, okay? What kind of characteristics does somebody have? Somebody of power.